So every single day, at least one person will ask me for tips on how to edit their videos, whether it's through email or in the comment section, or I get a message on Facebook or Instagram. It's pretty much the most asked question that I get, second only to when am I gonna have a baby. So that's why for today's video, I decided to make this quick little tutorial that will answer that editing question. More specifically, this is gonna be a video about how to edit as quickly as possible, because I think that's the problem that most people have with editing, is that it's a process that takes a long time to do, and so people get a little discouraged from it, especially for people who are just starting out. But with the things that I'm about to show you in this video, you're gonna be editing a lot faster than ever before. Back when I was working in Hollywood around 5 or 6 years ago now, I used to edit vlogs and videos for this one company, and I used to edit 5 to 6 videos for them every single day. And the reason that I was able to do that is because of something called editing shortcuts. Editing shortcuts is a significant part of what separates the amateur editors from the pros. The more keyboard shortcuts that an editor knows, the more professional they are. So when you see someone who's editing a video and they barely touch their mouse, that is a professional editor right there. Now keep in mind that this tutorial is just for beginners, because I think that that's what most people are who are asking me this question. They're just people who want to make vlogs and silly little videos on the internet. So if you're one of those newbie beginner editors, then please pay attention and focus and listen, and I'm going to teach you how to edit like a pro using shortcuts. Alright, so first things first, the program that I'm using is called Adobe Premiere Pro. It's a really good editing program, but the shortcuts I'm going to be showing to you guys today, other editing programs should have it as well. All you gotta do is go in the help search bar right here, and then type in shortcuts, and then it should pop up right there. And if for some reason your editing software has different shortcuts than what I'm going to show you today, then coming over here and checking this out should clear things up for you. But yeah, for now I'm just going to teach you what these shortcuts are in Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, so first of all, we're going to cover the basics. So of course, when you're editing, you often switch from your default cursor, which is this one, to the razor tool, which is this one. So let's say, for example, you're editing your video and you want to make a cut right here on this part of your video. And usually what beginners do is they change their cursor by going to this part of their interface, clicking the razor tool, pressing where they want to have the cut made, and then going back into their selection tool. And let me show you when I do that on regular speed. It takes around 1.5 seconds to do. But if we just use our shortcuts, so the shortcut for the selection tool is V, and then the razor tool is C, you can switch between those two modes using your keyboard shortcuts very quickly. So you can make the same cut instantly, as opposed to if you used your mouse and made the cut that way. Okay, so those are the two first shortcuts that you should know. Is the default cursor is V, and then the blade tool is C. Next up is your arrow keys. So your left and right arrow key moves the timeline 1 frame forward or backward. And then if you hold it, it moves frame by frame in slow motion. But if you press it like this, then it's gonna go frame by frame. Okay, so that's the left and right keys. When you press the up and down keys, however, you're gonna move to the previous or the next cut in your timeline. So this is your timeline. If I press the up arrow key, then you move to the previous cut. If I press the down arrow key, you move to the next cut in your timeline. That's what the arrow keys do. And then the next basic shortcuts are the J, K, and L keys, which are rewind, pause, and fast forward respectively. So the J key rewinds your timeline, the L key plays it forward, and then the K key pauses it. Now, if you double click the J key, the rewind key, it's gonna rewind your video faster. And if you press it again, even faster, press it again, even faster. Same thing with the play or the fast forward key, which is the letter L. The more you press it, the faster it will go through your timeline. Okay, so those are the basic shortcuts for editing. V and C moves between your selection cursor and your blade tool. Your arrow keys move you around the timeline. Your up and down keys move you per cut, while your left and right keys move you per frame. And then the J, K, and L keys rewind, fast forward, and pause your timeline. Okay, now that we have the basics out of the way, let me show you 4 very basic shortcuts that I think every editor should memorize. Okay, so number 1 is the expand and the contract shortcuts, and those are the plus and minus right here on the upper right hand side of the keyboard. In order to expand or contract your timeline, you can just press these 2 buttons right here instead of going over here with your mouse and trying to expand or contract the timeline this way, which isn't really that accurate. Professionals use the plus and minus keys more often because it's much more accurate. As you can see, it snaps into the next biggest scale or the next smallest scale. Very, very useful shortcut if you want to expand or contract your timeline really quickly. Alright, the next useful shortcut is especially useful if you have several layers on your timeline and you want to cut them all at the same time. So let's set something like that up right now by stacking these videos together like this. So let's say I want to cut right about here. And the usual way to make a cut right here is to select my blade tool, click this, click this, click this, and then we have the cut. But there's a faster way to do that, of course, using our keyboard shortcuts. And in order to do that, make sure that all your timelines are selected, and all you gotta do is press Shift Command K. And every track on your timeline that is selected will have a cut on wherever you are on the timeline. So let's move over here, Shift Command K, here, Shift Command K, Shift Command K, instant cuts using that keyboard shortcut. The third shortcut that I think is going to be extremely useful for beginners is called the ripple edit. And it's really useful for situations where, let's say I make a cut right here and I want to delete this part of my timeline, and then I'm going to delete this empty space, which is going to move all of the later clips on my timeline back just like that. And as you can see, it took a few seconds to do that, but once again, using a keyboard shortcut, we can do that instantly. And the shortcut for the ripple edit is with the letter Q. So all you gotta do is select the clip on your timeline, and if you want to delete this part of where this selector is, then you press Q, and then it ripples all of the later clips instantly, just like so. But if you want to ripple edit the later part of where you are selected, then you press W, and then it ripple edits just like that. Isn't that amazing? So once again, Q for removing the back end, and W for removing the front end, the later end. Alright, so far we have plus and W. We have Shift Command K if you have several clips, several tracks, and then you want to make a cut instantly. And then we have Q and W for if you want to ripple edit on your video, like so. Finally, the fourth useful tool for beginners is if you want to move your clips from one track to another. So let's say, for example, I want to move this clip right here into the track, like so, like that, like that, like that. You can do that, you know, with your mouse, but once again, using keyboard shortcuts, you can do this a lot faster and a lot quicker. And the keyboard shortcut for that is holding the Option key and then moving up and down like so. And just like the other shortcuts, this makes your editing much more instantaneous and quick. Learning these shortcuts isn't just about editing fast and getting your work done as fast as possible. The reason why I also want you guys to learn about these shortcuts is because when it comes to editing, you have thousands and thousands of micro decisions to make in order to create the story in your video. And by saving a few seconds in making those micro decisions by using these shortcuts, you can spend those extra seconds that you just saved using the shortcuts into thinking more creatively and making even more decisions and putting more work and effort into your editing. So not only are you going to be editing faster, you're also going to be editing better. So once again, that's expand and contract using plus and minus, Shift Command K to instantly cut through several tracks on your timeline, ripple edit using the Q and the W key, like so, and then moving the tracks up and down using the Option up on your keyboard. So those are just a few shortcuts that I think all people should know who want to be editors. And by learning those shortcuts, you will be editing a whole lot faster than you were before, and you're going to be one step closer to becoming a professional editor. But of course, learning the shortcuts of your editing software is only one part of becoming a good editor. To truly become the best editor that you can be, a master editor, you have to remember that editing is one part of filmmaking, which is the art of storytelling. So you're going to have to master the art of storytelling through filmmaking. So that's something that goes beyond technical skill, it goes beyond the craft, it's more about the art. However, that tutorial is going to be for another time. For now, I hope you guys learned something from this little video that I made today. If you want to know how I use the techniques that I just showed you, then please check out the short films and documentaries on my main channel. And please consider subscribing there if you like the videos that you see. Also, please subscribe to this channel because I make videos every single day. Please let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions on what kinds of videos I should make in the future. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Peace out.